I can't believe I'm doing this, or why am I doing this, just to actually find out or see that I'm doing this because it's kind of like the culture, or it's something that almost everybody here does. So habit number one, yeah, if you've seen one of my shorts when I was talking about how my German teacher dresses, it's exactly that. Like being able to repeat the same clothing for 2 days, something you wear today and then you wear it tomorrow again. It's very uncomfortable, but at least for me, I can do it if I'm going to two different places. But yeah, back home it's crazy if you actually put on the same clothes that you had on the previous day. It's seen like, yo, what are you doing? Number two is when it comes to buying things. We usually go at once, do shopping, buy everything at once, and go back home. But then we're currently reverting back into our old habit, which is going to buy things at once. But then it was always like here and there, you quickly go to the shop and then you buy one or two things, then you come back home, then tomorrow again you go back and then you buy one or two things, then you come back, instead of like doing shopping once. And I've adopted that because the very first time I came, one of my mentors told me that no, things go bad very fast, hence why they just buy like things for the week. So they go every single week to the shop and buy this, and it was so unusual for us because we usually go once at the shop, fill up the trolley, and then come. Now it feels a little bit uncomfortable when you go to the shop and then you fill up a whole trolley with stuff and then come home. It's like, what's going on? But yeah, that's the second thing I've actually adopted, and I actually prefer my old way. Yeah. The third one is calculating everything until the last cent. Oh my goodness! Like you, you go to the shop and you're literally calculating every single thing. At home, a lot of things were just like what $1.99, or really $1, like maybe $20.99, and but the 99 we didn't really calculate. We didn't count it. You always get a 5 cent back. But here, everything you have to calculate until like the last cent, because you have maybe 17 cents, and then here you need to give a 10 cent and a 7 cent to make 17, no, yeah, whatever, something like that. You need to count until the last cent. So that's a habit I've actually taken too, which is like literally counting every single thing that you're spending until the last cent. And then the other thing is addressing people by their name. Like this is, at home it's a no-no. Like you cannot address my mom by her name, or you can't address somebody elders actually by their names like that. You actually say tate or meme, which is just father or mother, or say basically in that way, but not as in like you're related or so. Yeah, even my boss, we just address her by her name, and it's it's okay. That's just how it is. Not even by her surname. Obviously, surnames are people that you don't know, like that you're meeting for the first time and stuff like that. You call them by their surname or Z. But when it comes to like bosses and parents and stuff like that, you call them by their names, and that's okay. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. The next thing are the two words that I really use the most, and I'm also starting to um, take up these habits. Very questionable. The first one is was, which just means what. So it's very, very rude where I come from. If somebody calls you and then you say what, that's really rude. But here it's like you call me and they're like was. Or if I say what are you doing and you didn't hear, instead of like excuse me, a lot of people tend to be like was, and it was so offending for me in the beginning, but then now it's like just normal, and I caught myself doing it as well. And the second one is if you want, like say asking your mom, can you please get me that thing if you want, or can you come with if you want. Like, what are you talking about? There's nothing like that. But here is always like when du möchtest, when du willst, when, like, if you want, if you're willing to, which if you think about it, it's actually true. Like somebody's supposed to do something if they want, but then for us it's seen as very rude. You cannot tell somebody, please do this for me if you want. So that's another thing I've also adopted now, and I need to reprogram myself when I go back home, because I don't want to be chased around with brooms and sticks being beaten that I do not have manners. The next one is actually saving money. Instead of buying petrol, or instead of like taking buses, you would rather walk or cycle, and back home we take taxis all the time and stuff like that. But then I found myself wanting to walk from one place to another because I'm used to it here. So you either cycle or you just walk. Even if it's to walk to town, from home to town, you don't even think of the distance anymore. You just walk because it's a normal thing here, and it's safe, and there are roads, there are areas for people to walk. So that's one thing that I've also adopted. And again, when I go home, I'm looked at as like, what's wrong with this child? The last very questionable habit is when somebody has a birthday here, if it's your birthday, you're actually the one who caters for everybody. You buy the cake, you buy gifts and give to the people. Whereas back home, when it's your birthday, people actually do bring gifts to you. You know, they bring for you gifts, and then they bring the cake to you, they bring all these things. But then here is different. For instance, when it was my son's birthday, when he goes to school, you need to take along a cake, you need to take along some toys or some gifts for all the other kids in their class. This is if you want, it's not like you're forced to. And when people invite you to their birthdays, they don't actually expect you to bring gifts and stuff like that. You can if you want, it's not like it will be rejected. It's not like something that is expected. They usually have stuff, and then they are the ones that give to the people who came to the birthday. So that is really a whole different world. But yeah, those are the things I've adopted, questionable things I've adopted about Germany. But yeah, it's fun using them here because it's normal. You know, you might as well integrate yourself in what is happening than continue being culturally shocked. But yeah, guys, if you have made it until this far, thank you so much for watching my video, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Spread love, and see ya. Auf Wiedersehen.